All right, here we go again with 8.3. We have two examples left here with GCFs in them, and then it'll be your turn to practice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause at the end of the video and let it run a little bit. If we have the time to get these copied down here in the Your Turn, and then it'll be a little while before I publish a video on the Your Turn 8.3, so you'll have plenty of time to do that. All right, now looking at our example here, if I take a look across here, everything has a 3 in common. So I'm going to take that 3 and I'm going to take it out, and that's going to leave me with a 7x squared minus, and the 3 will come out of there one time, 1 left over, so that's 6x, and then minus, and 3 will go into 4 one time, and 1 left over, 15 5 times, just in case you didn't know that. And then we can do one of two things. We can either do the factors of 7 here as 1 and 7, and 3 and 5, or 1 and 15, and factor it that way, or we can multiply 7 times 15 and then find all the factors there. We're going to find, I think, that it's actually easier to do it this way, the traditional way, because 7 is a prime number. So I'll get a 7x here and just an x over here, and then I have to mix and match the factors of 3 and 5 and 1 and 15 in order to get a difference of 16. So if I put in the 5 out here and the 3 over here, that would be a little bit too big. So let's start here with a 5 here and a 3 here. And if I see the 21 minus 5, 21 minus 5 is 16. So I'm going to need a negative 21 and a positive 5, and that will give me a difference of a negative 16, and that one is how that will factor. Now the other option, remember, was for me to have multiplied the 7 times the 15, and that's going to give me 5 times 3, carry the 3, so 105, and then find all the factors of 105. And then the one that will work is to rewrite 16 as 21 times 5. And that would be our difference there. So that would be the other jumping off place. Now moving on to the next one here, we have all the way across a GCF. I see a Y for sure, and then I know they're all even, and that's about all, right? Because this is only made up of 2's and 3's, so there's not a 3 in 34, so that's not going to work. So I'm going to take out a 2y here, and that will leave me with a 3x squared, and that will leave me with a 17x, and then minus, and 2 comes out of there 4 times, 2 comes out of there 2 times, and that'll be the end of it. And now, again, I can try to factor this, and it's not guaranteed that it'll factor. We have 1 and 42, and we have 2 and 21, and we have 3 and, let's see, 1, 14, 4 doesn't, 5 doesn't, 6 and 7, and so those are all the factors of 42. Now that's quite a bit of difference between the one that we had last time, so the traditional method here might not be nearly as good of a method, but we can certainly give it a try since how 3 is prime. So if we put it on 1 and 42, we are looking for a difference of 17. So the 1 and the 42, by putting 42 in here, way too big, and the difference between the, if we put the 42 over here, that would be a GCF. So this one isn't going to work at all. Now with the 2 and the 21, I can't put 21 in here because that would be a GCF, so the only option would be to put 21 over here, which 21 times 3 is way too big of a difference to give us 16, so that one's not going to work. And then with the 3 and the 14, I can't put the 3 over here, so the only option would be to put the 14 over here and the 3 here, so that would be 9 and 14, which is too small of a difference, so that one's not going to work either. And you see that these options, they started being eliminated quite quickly here. And then the 7 and the 6. Well, I can't put a 6 over here. The only way I can do it is 7 here and a 6 here. So that's 18 minus 7, and 18 minus 7, that is not going to give us the correct difference of 17. So this one is not going to factor any further, and that's where we're going to end up leaving it. And that'll be our final answer. And if you wanted to, you can check the 42 times 3, and you can go through all the factors there and prove to yourself that none of them will give us a difference of 17. I'll just let you do that on your own. In the meantime, you should copy down these Your Turn problems and return to look at that later on as far as a check.